have you done? The other half of this channel. Look at my new haircut and color. My partner did it. Isn't it cute? This week on Bad with Money, we have a brand new episode out right now. It is all about the Zillow controversy. If you've been paying attention to TikTok, or if you pay attention to real estate in general, you will know that Zillow is a little bit under fire. So what's it all about? How is it affecting the real estate market? Here's some clips from the episode, and if you are interested or intrigued, please go into the description of this video and you will be able to listen to the whole episode. Let me know what you think. Is it ethical what Zillow is doing? How is the real estate market looking for you? Probably not good. Okay, bye. So we did it wrong and backwards. So anyway, continue on with what the ideal way to do it is. That doesn't lead to 3 months of just like stress shaking.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So I'll ask you, like, what was it that, like, why didn't you want to get approved first? Because it's like the boring part, right? It's like the scary part. Or what happened? Like, tell me.
What happened? I don't really know. We found this cabin. We were looking for cabins, and we found this cabin, and we were like, this is perfect. This is the one that we want. It's in our price range. This is great. And so we were like, we will take this cabin, please. And then, and we had been pre-approved, and then for some reason, once it came down to them actually seeing our freelance lives, we kept asking for documents, which, like, I know is kind of normal, but I mean, they would ask for things like, they would ask for something, we'd give it to them. 2 weeks later, they'd ask for the exact same thing. And so it is, I would say, a full gaslighting process where you're like, I gave that to you, and they'll be like, give it to us again. And you'd be like,
yeah, or I need it updated. Or that was for last month, and now I need it for this month. And
or they'd go, okay, yeah, so we're gonna, we'll be totally fine after you hand in this. And then we go, okay, and we hand it in, and then a week later we're like, check in, and we're like, are we done? And then they'll go, no, that's nuts. We need 4 more things. And you'd be like, what's going on? Like,
yeah. Well, it's funny. So that's actually a really good point. So you probably got pre-approved. And what you really want to make sure happens in the pre-approval process is did they ask you for all that documentation up front once?
No.
So that's a good sign. So this is for all your listeners who are like going through that process. Like, it's so easy to like fill out the form online and it's like, you're approved, right? And then you kind of like, we get to do this. That's not a good idea for 2 reasons. One is because most people won't understand what that your approved number means in monthly payments based on what they want to put down, right? Also, like, the interest rate changes all the time, so like it could just be slightly different over time.
What are your taxes? Yeah,
right. Like, where you're looking, if you're looking at different jurisdictions, the numbers are going to be slightly different. So you really want to have a conversation with a lender and be like, okay, like, what does this look like for us? What if, like, we need to, like, in my area, it's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. You have totally different property taxes. And so for my clients, I'm like, okay, let's have one in Virginia, let's have one in DC and one in Maryland, so that you see the difference, because it's a slightly different purchase price depending on where you're buying, if we're really focused on that monthly payment, right? But the other reason that you don't want to just like get the approval is exactly what you said. You really, at that moment that you're approved, you should have given, like, they should be pulling your credit. They should be asking for all the documentations, your last 2 months worth of pay stub, your last 2 years worth of taxes. That is really what guarantees that what they're giving you on paper will actually happen when you have a property identified.
Yeah. So that took forever. Could have been done differently in a backwards way. I just ended up, I mean, I think, like, sometimes also you go into it and you say to the real estate agent, I don't know if you probably know how often this happens, you're like, I want like a modern house with 3 bedrooms and this, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, great. And then you show them something that's like a 2-bedroom, like, you know, like old 1940s Victorian house. And they're like, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what you said to me at all. I've seen some pushback on Zillow buying homes or having, like, is there a long-term strategy there? Because it reminded me a bit of, like, the Amazon model where up front in the beginning they were losing money. They were buying out sort of their competitors and losing money, which like I've read, Zillow is sort of taking a hit a little bit with like, is there sort of like a long-term strategy for that initial loss?
Yeah, no, I think you're right that there is pushback, and I think that's coming from a place of fear and honestly misunderstanding and misinformation that's floating out there on the internet about what iBuying is and what it isn't. The iBuying model, the business model, and I can kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, is to purchase homes for fair market value, to make minor repairs to those homes, and to put them back on the market as quickly as possible for fair market value. So, Zillow is not intentionally trying to make money on the purchase or sale of these homes. Zillow makes its profit in the service fee, that convenience fee that's paid by the homeowner, which averages 5% nationwide right now, but it is variable. So that's sort of where iBuyers make the money, and that's the strategy long term. That's the strategy now. It's the strategy long term. I think as iBuyers get better with pricing, we're going to get closer to that model of kind of breaking even on the home and then being able to make the money on the service fee.
Yeah, because it's I've seen like both where people are like, this is going to cause the market to like skyrocket, and then other people being like, great, I'm going to buy a bunch of Zillow stock then. Like it seems like there's two sides to it. So like the model is because it obviously you fix it up a little bit and then you put it back on the market for a higher price. So the model is to do that so that more people can buy through Zillow, like so that they sell on Zillow and they buy on Zillow.
No, the idea is to provide a service to sellers. Mm-hmm. We know sellers' biggest stressor is that they're not sure if they're going to be able to sell their home and purchase a new home on their timeline, right? Mm-hmm. It's timing those two transactions is the number one reason why sellers sit on the sidelines, why they don't want to sell their home, why they're worried and stressed out about it. So, this is a service to directly address that concern, right? It takes away all the stress of selling and allows more inventory to come onto the market.
Do you think it'll change the prices in certain neighborhoods or no?
That's not the idea, because what Zillow does to homes is it doesn't fundamentally change the footprint or really the value of the home. Zillow is making the repairs that any typical homeowner would make to their home before listing it for sale. So, think paint, carpet cleaning, landscaping, stuff like that. It's getting the home safe, clean, and functional for its buyer. So ultimately, Zillow is trying to buy homes at market value and trying to sell homes at market value. And we're getting pretty close. We did a study that found that people who came through Zillow and requested a Zillow offer but then went on to sell their home traditionally sold their home for 0.09% more on the open market versus that initial cash offer from Zillow. So, they're selling their homes for less than 0.1% more than the offer they would have got from Zillow.
How many people are using iBuying? You said it's a small percentage using iBuying right now versus using real estate agents.
Correct. Yeah, the iBuying sector as a whole in the second quarter of 2021, it made up 1% of the entire market. So iBuyers were responsible for purchasing 15,000 homes out of the 1.5 million homes that transacted in the last quarter.